My friend, nothing is made to last forever. Relationships, milk, and cars. Though cars may outlast all of us if you take good care of them. But my point is that times are changing. Obviously, you know this if you've watched a few videos on Motor Illustrated or you've read a few of our stories. We are certainly going through some serious changes in the automotive business. But, and truly this is a privilege for me and for you in a way, that I get to experience, and I suppose perhaps in some ways vicariously through me, you get to experience the end of an era and the beginning of another. I've said this and I've written this a number of times over the last 10, 15 years that we're truly in the middle of turning the page. In fact, the page has now crossed the middle point where the internal combustion engine is on its last legs. It'll be around for many, many, many years yet to come. But inevitably, cars like this are going to die. They will become dinosaurs. They're going to live on in enthusiasts' hearts and in people's garages, those who have enough money, of course, for decades and decades, hopefully centuries to come. But if you want to buy a new one, time is running out very, very fast. And I have chills right now. You can't see because it's a little bit cool outside, but I'm thinking back to what Chrysler, FCA, Stellantis has done over the last 20 years. It has been 20 years with their, what started out as LX platform cars, the 300 and the Magnum for the 2005 model year, which were, no one could help but fall in love with those rear-wheel drive V8 or V6 powered cars. They were just extraordinary, and the Magnum is near and dear to my heart, obviously, as a wagon, and probably you too. And then the Charger in 06, and then in 2008, when the LX platform was shrunken or revised physically, if you will, to become the LC platform to underpin the Challenger. That, as influential and important as the 300 and the Charger were, sadly, the Magnum never lived beyond the 2008 model year. But as important as those two sedans were, this is the car. This car is everything. It's absolutely everything. As far as I'm concerned, as far as cars are concerned at Chrysler, going as far back as the Intrepid, 1992, 93, 94, right around there, that was the last car that really defined a generation, an era of cars, at least over at Chrysler's at the time. But this, for the now Stellantis automaker, is, it definitely defines. I'm almost emotional about this. Defines the automobile over at Chrysler, FCA, Stellantis. And to commemorate, to celebrate, in order for us to remember forever, Dodge has wisely created a series of last call vehicles. Essentially, this is your last chance to buy these cars. And 7 were introduced late last year, and I think the last ones were introduced very early on in 2023. And all of them have been unbelievable. All of them unbelievable. But I've only driven one other Charger, and as great as it was, it's this one. This one, absolutely. This is the third of the 7, sorry, of the series of last call cars. This is a 2023 392 Scat Pack swinger with a few options, and believe me, it's as bad to drive as it looks. Bad ass is what I should have said. I don't know. This is not bittersweet. It's mostly bitter because it's the end. but oh so sweet. I guess it is then bittersweet, because this car represents, it's just an amalgamation of the 20th century as far as cars are concerned, mixed in with just enough of the 21st century for guys like me, say born in the 70s, early 80s, and older obviously, where you can recognize the blending, or the beginning, well, I don't know, the blending of old school and in this package there's a lot of gold school. I love Stellantis, the play on words and names. It's just extraordinary. Yeah, this is a very, very rare car. In fact, you can't even build it anymore. It's one of 1,000 Challenger Swinger. And so if you've missed out on it, you've missed out on it. This is probably going to be the only one you're going to see on the road. Well, you're not going to see it on screen. You'll see others on screen probably, but you'll probably never see one on the road, which is kind of sad because most of them are probably going to be locked up as a collector's item. I don't know that I'd be able to if I could afford to spend $80,000 on a Challenger, 80 grand. And this is not a Demon or a Hellcat, right? This is just the greatest, laziest, most 392 cubic inches, 0.4 liter V8. Anyway, I'm totally emotional, completely out of sorts this week with this car. And I'll try and convey, maybe the emotions are coming through, but I'm going to try and convey to you in the following video how exceptional this car is, how I might tear up. It could happen. It could happen. Anyway, so I'm going to do the walk around of this Fate green with gold school accents 2023 Challenger Swinger. And then we're gonna shake and rumble. Thank you, Shaker Hood. Yes. So please hang in there and let's enjoy this together. Glorious, is it not? Is it not just spectacular? I know the sun is kind of in the background, so it's creating a lot of shadows, but this is a dark car. No, it's not dark. It's evil, but it's good evil. I do not, never will, tire of staring at this car. It is, in fact, the spec, the Fate Green, the gold school accents, the Shaker Hood. It is quite possibly the most perfect spec Challenger I have ever come across. I mean, I love Go Man Go, I love Plum Crazy, and all kinds of other colors, but there's something about the golden green. Is there a song, Golden Green? Whatever, I'm confused, it doesn't matter. Pricing quickly, I mean, in the US, the base SXT starts at $32,465. The SRT Super Stock is the other end of the spectrum, $91,300 in the US. So that's 3 times the price, give or take, for a Challenger. I won't say the same because it's not the same. Canada, the SXT is $41,000, and the top trim SRT Hellcat Red Eye Wide Body Jailbreak is about $117,000. You know, whatever. Base equipment, 3.6 liter V6, 7-inch touchscreen display, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, blah blah blah. But this car, the Challenger Swinger, starts out as a Scat Pack 392, and that one retails for about $62,000. But to it are added numerous features. I mean, included those 6.4 liter, the 392, limited slip diff, SRT drive modes, 8.4-inch touchscreen and 20-inch wheels. But then to jump up to the Swinger package, you get the gold school accents. You get the larger gold wheels. These are 20 by 11s in the back, if memory serves. The green interior touches, I'll show them to you in a few moments. That's one of the option package. And there's the big one, the 23N, which you can still spec today, but it's without the Swinger package, which is the Swinger package. The 23N is the wide body. Yeah, the wide body. I don't know. I think I like the Charger without the wide body, but the Challenger with the wide body. Personal opinion. But the 23N does include the adaptive suspension and Brembo front brakes. And this one has one very, very special thing, which makes it just all the more. Anyways, it also has the Harman Kardon audio system for about $82,000. Do we do one last? I think we should do one. Literally, this is the last call. Last. I don't know. It's so aggressive. So much. By the way, those 305s. Section with tires. Shaker hood. Shaker hood. Shaker hood. And this front end. I mean, this front end is already gonna make a comeback in the Daytona, the EV released. I see. I can't talk. I just can't talk. I'm in absolute awe. This is a totally useless video. I apologize, friend. See, there you go. Scat back. But it's also filthy and dusty. Oops, I'm in a shadow. I'm in a shot. Anyway, look, just go on the inside, and immediately I'll show you. You'll see. I'll zoom right in. You ready? Yes, my friends. 6-speed Tremec manual transmission. You can see some of the green stitching here, a few of the touches. Wow, the sun is really not helping me out. It's the green stuff. It's and the Alcantara leather seats, which are fantastic. I truly need 3 pedals. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's a back seat back there somewhere. I'm taking a moment for both you and I, just to, let's just get in. And we'll start it up. Yeah, she's warm, so we're in neutral. There's another cool thing. This we'll never see again. Foot brake. I know it's a silly detail, but it's drive modes, custom, street, steering, sport, because why not? Adaptive suspension, as I mentioned. Hey, take it easy. All right. Yeah, drive modes, and there's also a that launch. 8.4-inch Uconnect, still good. I love the gauges, digital display. I mean, what else is there to say? Uconnect is still great. How quickly everything kind of just loads up, and how this lower part of the screen just remains in place even when you're in Apple CarPlay. It's so user friendly, and that's just magnificent. And the visibility is as terrible as always, and the shifter is, first gear is essentially almost up against your knee, because second, third, fourth, and fifth. Oops, no, that was reverse. Fifth, sixth, and then reverse. Just so that's reverse. Just so you know. You know what? Let's just go for a drive. I'm done talking. Well, no, I'm not done talking, but I'm done. Let's just drive. What's shocking, at least to me, about the Challengers, that once the styling kind of really punches you across the face, but we're used to it at this point. It's been around for so long. Is when you get behind the wheel. Truth be told, I stepped out of a Honda Accord hybrid into the Challenger, and I don't think I could have felt more out of place or in a different environment than if I'd stepped out of a Miata into a school bus. The driving position, the overall ergonomics in this car are from a whole other era, a different time. It's comical to a certain extent, but we do get used to it and settle in quite nicely very quickly. Sure, I'd like maybe a slightly lower seating position, but I won't complain. I need to actually sit this high, even though the seat's in the lowest position, so I can see over the shaker hood. The designers 20 years ago, 15 years ago, they thought of this back then. That's just it. I mean, over any supercharged 6.2 Hellcat engine, the 392, always the 392. For the sounds, for the linear 485 horsepower at 6,100 RPM and 475 pound-feet of torque. at 4,100 RPM. You won't beat a Mustang GT or a Camaro SS with this thing, despite the big power numbers, mostly because it's a freaking bus. Essentially, it is a bus, and it weighs over 4,500 pounds, give or take, and that's without me in it, which is just insane. But this is, you can drag this car, but you don't really want to drag this car. What you just want to do is cruise and enjoy the sound from this glorious V8. I am going to miss it so much. It's unapologetic, delivers just enough of everything, consumes plenty also. But that's, if you're not, Stellantis says you'll average about 13 liters per 100 kilometers in mixed driving. If that's what you're doing, if that's what you're managing, then you're doing it all wrong, I'm telling you right now. Because it should be, oh, Kona electric, thank you. You should be hearing the roar all the time. You don't have to keep it pinned at 5,000 RPM. Just at 3 is enough. Where the rumble, the shaking permeates into the cabin, takes hold of your soul and your mind and your heart. And yeah, absolutely. And the 6-speed manual transmission. It's a beautiful blend of where you've got to work for it, because getting the shifter into its slot requires a fair amount of work. Not necessarily precision, but a lot of weight. And you can feel the resistance. And the clutch is heavy, but not impossibly so. I've been stuck twice now in traffic with this car. And I mean, yes, my calf muscle's not this big, but no, I'm exaggerating. It's just spectacular. The pedals are borderline too far, well, just close enough for the heel toe. I mean, I need water. I'm parched because of the emotions and everything that's flowing through me right now. But yeah, with the manual transmission, and when you get it perfectly right, it's forgiving. The friction point, it's so smooth. The way it just glides from one gear to the other. And the adaptive dampers, I mean, in street, they're perfectly sorted for the road. And despite the massive tires and wheels, which combined in the rear probably weigh 250 pounds a pop. I'm exaggerating, but the ride is just superb. It's not punishing. It's just sporty enough, but you know, you don't want to take the sharpest corner flat out, because you just might go straight through, or if you're down on the hammer, you're going to go, the ass will come around. But that's part of the wonderful experience that this car provides. And the brakes feel great, the Brembos. Oh my goodness, of all the cars that are going to die in the 2020s, this may very well be the one that will affect me the most. I mean, the fact that the manual transmission is dead in the GTI and the Golf R is tragic. But at least the car still remains with some, well, there's no noise, it's all digitized anyway, but whoa. It's not fast, and that's what I love about this car. You can keep it pegged for a few seconds. Okay, fine, just slightly above the speed limit, but this is an experience. As far as driving experiences are concerned, this is up there with, say, a 1M, BMW 1M for me. Almost any generation Miata. And say a Camaro SS 1LE or a Boss 302. These absolutely, a Civic Type R, an FK8. It's right up there with some of the most exceptional. I'll even throw in a Cayman R, and not for the performance, but for the involvement, the fizzes, the emotions, the significance of the experience. And this is raw. This is as raw as they get, and it's I'm very sad. Happy that I got to drive it one last time, but very sad. Thank you, Stellantis, FCA, Chrysler, for bringing these cars, for allowing us to enjoy them for 20 years. They'll never be the same. They'll never be the same, even if they have twice as much power and cut 5 seconds out of the quarter mile time. But they'll just, and I don't care if they make noise, but it'll never be the same. Never ever. But thank you. I'm done.